Hi everyone, I'm coming to you today from inside Novella. I had wanted to do this video outside, but it's raining, cold, and windy, so here we are. Today we're going to be talking about the 5 tips of writing on the road. I've been writing for 20 years, but I've only been writing on the road for 4 months. But during those 4 months, I've learned a lot about how to transfer my writing career to a life on the road. So I want to share some of that with you. First off, writing on the road is a romantic notion for a lot of people. A lot of writers and a lot of would-be writers really fantasize about sitting at a picnic table or in a camp chair somewhere, writing in front of a lake or a mountain or a beach or desert. I've done all those. It is great. There's no doubt about it. It's fabulous. But the bottom line is, it's not all about that. Writing, depending on what you want your writing to be, if you're okay, if you want it to be a hobby, treat it like a hobby. But if your goal is to be a professional writer, or maybe you are a professional writer who's transferring that career to life on the road, you have to remember to treat it like a job. Which brings me to tip number 1, set a set schedule. I write 2 hours a day, every day. There are some days I take off, and that's okay, but for the most part I write every day for 2 hours a day. Some days I get in 4 to 6 hours a day. Find a schedule that works for you. Maybe you find that writing just on weekends is best for you. Maybe you find that just writing during weekdays is best for you. Maybe Monday, Wednesday, and Friday works best for you. Find something that works for you. I always like to say that if you write just 1 page a day, in a year, you'll have a full novel. You still have to edit that novel, but you'll have the bones of a full novel with just 1 page a day. One of the things I've learned in these 4 months is to set aside time for writing in bulk. I call them my writer retreats. The first month or 2, it was hard for me to find my niche. By the 3rd month, I knew what worked for me, and I stick to that. Besides writing 2 hours a day, I will often, after traveling for a few days, I will settle in at a campground somewhere for 3 to 5 days. And I call those my writer retreats. And during those days, I write. And I write a lot. And I get a lot on the page. And then I get antsy and it's time to move again. And then I'll settle in somewhere again. And I'll write and write and write. But I cherish these writer retreats as much as I cherish meeting up with friends and seeing new sights. Tip number 2, be wary of distractions. Sure, you want to see that largest ball of yarn in the world. And sure, you want to see the alligator farm. And sure, you want to see that national park or maybe hike that trail. And these are all good things. These are all fun things. These are all things you should be doing on the road. But don't let them get in the way of your writing. You can have both. You can, with a schedule that I noted in tip 1, have your cake and eat it too. Or should I say, have your page and eat it too. Other distractions are people. If you're at a campground and people come over and they want to chat with you, make a decision. Do you have time to chat or do you not? If I'm in the zone, I mean, like if I'm really chugging away at my writing and it's just coming out fast and furious, I will tell folks, please, let's meet up later. I have to get my work done. People who meet me understand that I'm a professional writer. And so they're okay. But, you know, with me saying, I need to see you later, they understand that I have work to do. So be very jealous of your time. You know, I always say being on the road, the best thing is the flexibility. but it's also the worst thing too. It can be a real monkey wrench in your writing because there's so much you can do and you can come and go as you please. You also have a tendency to let your writing be put lower on your list of priorities. So just be jealous of your time and don't let distractions distract you from your writing career. The third thing I want to talk about is connectivity. I have a WeBoost, and it works great. If I have 1 bar, I can usually boost it to 2 or 3 by putting that out. It's a magnet that sticks on the side of my van and plugs into the 12-volt system here. If I need to print things out or I need strong Wi-Fi and I don't have it, I'll go to a library or to a coffee shop or someplace that has really good Wi-Fi and take advantage of that. I'll go to libraries to print things out I need printed. I do not carry a printer in this small van. So don't be shy about using a lot of these public facilities to get things done. A lot of people like to write in coffee shops and places like that, and I don't, but I will go there to get certain things done. Number 4, make a list of the things you need to do besides your writing, a to-do list. Just like living in a sticks and bricks home or apartment, you have chores you need to do. In an RV, you have to attend to your tanks. You might have to fix something that has come loose or make a modification. You still have dishes to do. You still have floors to sweep and wash. You still have laundry and changing sheets. These are the day-to-day things of life, and they can also interfere with your writing. But what I have found works best for me is keeping a to-do list. I know the things I have to do daily, weekly, and randomly. And when I'm writing, I'll write for a while and then I'll get up and do a chore. And I find by doing this, a couple of things happen. One is the chores get done and the writing gets done. But also when I've been writing for a couple of hours, my brain starts slowing down and gets dull. And by getting up and breaking up my routine with a chore, even something as simple as changing the sheets on the bed, it kind of relaxes my brain, and when I get back to my writing, it moves along a lot better. So when you sense a slowdown in your brain and things like that, take a break and do something, and that way you can get both your chores and your writing done. And that also brings me to tip number 5, which kind of blends in with that one. One of the things I've had to learn to do while on the road is make sure I get daily exercise. And most writers will tell you that when you do get your daily exercise, you will write better and you will write more focused. It's just the way it is. Your body needs to move and your brain needs your body to move. When I lived in an apartment, I had an exercise bike and I would exercise while watching the news. Well, I don't have that exercise bike where I am now, and I can't always do heavy-duty hiking and all with my knees, but I get in my exercise. If the weather's nice, I walk at least a mile a day. And if the weather's not nice like today, I'll do stretches. I have exercises I can do. I have videos that I can follow on YouTube to get me stretched and get the kinks out. So don't neglect your exercise. Although most people who live on the road get a lot more exercise than they did when they were living in a regular home. I know that's true for me. I mean, since I've been on the road, I've lost weight, and I attribute that a lot to getting more exercise. So don't neglect that. So if your dream is to write on the road, go for it. It really is a fun thing. If your dream is to be a professional writer, remember to treat being a writer as a job. Jobs need discipline. And that's what it takes to be a writer, is commitment and discipline. So I hope this helps. I hope you learned a lot today. At least these things work for me. And now I need to get back to my writing.